All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. I think all the partners that are going to join us this evening have joined by now. Some others might stream in as we move on, but no reason to delay. All right, so hello partners. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Timothy Olabachen, and I'm the Business Development Manager here at Silver Software Distribution. We have been the distributors of AVG for over 12 years now, so well over a decade, and we have a very exciting presentation in store for you today. First off, I'd like to sincerely thank all of you for taking the time out of what I know to be extremely busy schedules. We understand that you're busy, and that is the point behind this platform, to save you time. So this is a partner demo of our flagship RMM platform, AVG Managed Workplace. AVG Managed Workplace is by no means new to the market. It's been on the market for quite some time now, going on 3 to 4 years. So it's not new technology. It's already quite far down the line. And there's a lot of value that it brings to the table. So with me on call is AVG's RMM expert, my colleague Eric Shefstrom. Eric is based out of the AVG UK head office. And Eric has extensive experience in the RMM field, so he's our go-to RMM guru. We also have our distribution account manager over at AVG Technologies, now Vast, my colleague Gavin Hosak, who's also joining us on call, and taking more of a backseat role for this presentation though. So please keep in mind, if anybody has any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to type them into the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. We are recording today's demo for our valued partners who couldn't attend, ironically because they're too busy. So this is just a little something that I was sent through from a colleague, but it really speaks to the nature of RMM. We understand that you're busy, we understand that you have things to do, and the idea behind the platform is to save you time. So really worth allocating some time in your busy schedule to look into this. It really will be an improvement overall and ultimately end up saving you a lot of time. Right, yeah, so for this reason, Eric will address any questions after the presentation during the Q&A section at the end. And I just want to say at this point, RMM is undoubtedly the way forward, and it's the future of the IT industry, and we don't want to see our partners get left behind in the dust of the MSPs who are progressing forward. This is really to help our partners. Right, so in terms of agenda, I'll be kicking things off with a relatively brief introduction of AVG Managed Workplace. I'll be focusing on the key features, the sort of selling points, the kind of points that you bring up in your SLA negotiations with the clients, showing them what this platform will allow you to do for your clients. And yeah, then my colleague Eric is going to run through a technical demonstration, so he'll be showing you the actual platform at work. And I'll then close things off with a bit more information on the AVG Managed Workplace Partner Portal, which is just jam-packed with resources for our MSP partners. And we'll have a bit of a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions, we'll address them at the end. Right, so let's get down to brass tacks. You might be wondering why all the hype around RMM. Well, over the last few years, we've seen a global shift in the IT industry towards cloud managed services. And the reason is quite simple. The traditional break-fix IT model, that is, a client server crashes, you get the call from an irate client blaming you as their IT provider for failing them. This traditional break-fix way of operating is perceived by clients, especially SMB and enterprise clients, as unreliable. And by nature, it inherently destroys the credibility of IT service providers. How? Well, the traditional break-fix model is reactive as opposed to proactive, which means that you are constantly operating in emergency mode. And I'm sure every single partner in attendance today can relate to this. You're jumping from one crisis to the next, you're putting out fires, everything is always urgent. The main problems with this break-fix IT model, of which there are many, but the main ones is that Firstly, your revenue is unpredictable. It's uncertain when things will crash, when you'll need to be called on site. I mean, we speak to partners about these managed workplace demonstrations, and they tell us they can't really confirm whether they'll be available on the day or not because they don't know what's going to crop up. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So your revenue is unpredictable. And secondly, the costs associated with your client's downtime continue to rise. Of course, not to mention the value of lost opportunities and lost productivity, opportunity cost there related to the downtime. So the reason we say that revenue is unpredictable is because without fixed fee SLAs, you're predominantly dependent on IC assets breaking down or malfunctioning to charge your client a call-out fee. Often you can't reasonably bill the client the full amount of the labor hours that you expended to get them back up and running, because it was sort of your responsibility to ensure that it didn't crash to begin with. So it's always a contentious issue. It's also hard to budget this way. As an IT provider, it's hard to make managerial decisions based on unpredictable revenue. And by that stage, your reputation is usually tarnished. And it's by no fault of your own, but good luck explaining that to clients who racked up thousands in downtime costs. So the solution to this challenge is enter Managed Workplace 11.0. Now, Managed Workplace offers a proactive approach with 24/7, 365, around-the-clock remote monitoring and management of all your clients' IT assets across their various networks behind a single pane of glass. Brings simplicity to the picture, and it allows you to offer proactive managed services to your clients backed by SLAs. So you might have come across some other RMM platforms in the markets already. There are indeed quite a few tech giants and pioneers of industry that are joining the fray, but AVG Managed Workplace really stands apart as the industry leader in RMM. Of course, we boast the most extensive features in comparison to some of the other RMM platforms in the market, including our industry-leading built-in alerting, preloaded scripting, insightful reports that are also available straight out the box. And all of this is based on proprietary industry best practices. So you have leading IT companies all around the world, major corporates dealing in major B2B business and supporting all those other businesses. Got some feedback here. Thank you. Right, so where was I? Yeah, so you have major corporates, they're dealing in massive B2B business, and they're really at the forefront of the MSP business model and providing these IT services. So you can learn a lot from the preloaded scripts, from the reporting and that, purely by virtue of using the same platform that leading IT companies around the world are using. New scripts are released ad hoc. So there's a lot of value there. AVG Managed Workplace was actually awarded CRN's Tech Innovator of the Year for 2015, and more recently it was voted the best RMM platform for the channel by Channel Pro. We have a whole lot of other accolades and awards which you can check out on the website there, but I'm not going to bore you with the details now. I'm going to get down to the big question, and that is, what can AVG Managed Workplace do for your IT company? So to begin, you can proactively manage all your clients' IT assets, including software, including hardware, including servers, including mobile devices, systems, including virtual resources, printers, VoIP phones, PBXs, internal, external websites, anything with an IP address, really, we can manage. So it's an all-inclusive, comprehensive offering. You won't need any other third-party solutions. I've spoken to some of our partners before, and they sort of mingle and mesh a whole bunch of other solutions to adequately provide the service to their clients that they need. This is all given to you behind one simple platform. Right, so this helps you avoid surprises. It helps you avoid surprises through automated alerting, and this is automated alerting of any event that may adversely affect the normal operations of your customer's IT systems. So for example, let's say CPU on a central server has been running abnormally high for 3 consecutive hours. This is indicative of a bigger problem. So you'll be alerted to this fact, excuse me, by email
Tim,
or on the dashboard. Yes,
Tim,
sir.
sorry to interrupt, but your PowerPoint is frozen, so your slides aren't moving forwards, mate.
There you go.
It's working.
Just
now.
needed a nudge in the right direction.
I'll let
Thank
you carry on. Sorry, mate.
Perfect. Thanks. All right, there you go. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? The rest of the features there. So you'll be alerted to that. And this puts the control back in the hands of the IT provider. So instead of just hoping that the end user picks up on this and notifies you in time before the server crashes, which we all know is highly unlikely, you have that control, you have that constant round-the-clock monitoring, because rarely the buck stops with you. So you can't hand off accountability to the end user for not informing you when things started turning south. You can stay on top of that yourself and really take responsibility for the entire health of the IT infrastructure. So the powerful network monitoring alerts you to any potential issues, and it helps you prevent or resolve them efficiently. We support over 500 applications and devices, from PCs and laptops to smartphones and network infrastructure. So you will have all your clients covered in every sense of the word. Right, moving on, another very solid feature, this is a massive selling point, our partners love this feature, is the premium remote control. Bear in mind, although it's termed premium, all the features I'm running you through today, including the remote support, are all included in the single price. So there are no hidden fees whatsoever, there are no additional costs. It's an extremely simple pricing model, but I digress. So the premium remote control allows you to support users by remotely connecting to their Windows devices to resolve issues. There's a lot of functionality built into this. You can transfer files to the end user, you can chat with the end user, you can make annotations on the screen, perform administrative tasks. I know you can reconnect automatically after reboot, set up unattended access, so really anything you need from your remote control. And as you can imagine, this is a very popular feature because it completely negates the need for any expensive TeamViewer licenses or any other third-party remote applications. And I know our partners detest TeamViewer because their licensing model is that where you pay per version and they constantly release new versions, and then it's always a heartache to connect to clients that are running on different versions. Not to mention it's extremely expensive for a version that then becomes obsolete. So completely negates the need for any TeamViewer licenses, any other third-party applications that will allow for remote support. So after you receive an alert, you can then accurately diagnose or resolve those issues. You can accurately resolve those issues quickly through rapid remote remediation before they become a major problem. So I'd just like to add to this point, AVG Technologies actually partnered with ISL Online, and ISL Online have a solid history of feature-rich remote desktop control capabilities, like I got into earlier. And the integration allows for unlimited access to all your clients. So I was having a discussion with one of my colleagues over at the AVG UK office. The maximum upper bound is about 100 concurrent connections simultaneously per user, and you can create unlimited users. So, I mean, it's unlikely that an IT company would need even 100 techies remoting in at the same time, let alone more than that. But there is no limit to the number of concurrent connections. So extremely powerful feature there, can't stress this enough. In fact, and I really shouldn't be telling you this, so please do keep it on the DL, but you can actually remote into all of your clients' machines with a quick support link similar to TeamViewer. So you would just hit them up with a URL link or drop them an email with the link. From the client perspective, it's very simple to just click the link and you're all set up. And you can actually remote into all of your clients, even those clients who aren't onboarded to AVG Managed Workplace or being built. So it's really your one-stop shop. It's everything you're going to need. You're not going to need any other third-party remote control software for other clients, even if they're not onboarded to Managed Workplace. So massive value there. But moving on, We also have our service desk connector, and this allows for full two-way PSA integration with leading trouble ticketing and CRM solutions. So some examples include our integration with Autotask, integration with Tiger4, with Salesforce and ConnectWise, just to name a few. Then the extensive automation is a key feature, and this is really the crux. So this enables you to take advantage of advanced scripting. It incorporates over 800 preloaded scripts. And again, these are based on industry best practices, and they're available straight out the box. So you can just enable, disable scripts as needed. You also have the flexibility to change scripts or import your own scripts. And this will really help you streamline your own personalized service delivery. So the advanced scripting capabilities automates resolution of common support issues. It conducts system maintenance, performs routine administrative functions for you without the need for any intervention on your part. So this alone saves you a significant amount of time and labor costs. It's all completely automated. Anything that can be scripted, which is practically anything, you can just import that script into Managed Workplace and standardize it across all your clients. Another feature is patch management. You all know how vitally important it is to keep your patches up to date for security reasons. So it enables you to review patches, approve patches, and automate the deployment of those security patches for Microsoft and other third-party software. And I mean, this is all scheduled and automated. So once you have your policies in place for all your different clients, then it literally just runs on its own. And you just have to deal with any trouble tickets that might come up and just use the reporting to grow your business. So there's also asset management, and this systematically tracks software and hardware on the assets that you manage, and it provides comprehensive reporting for you and your clients to this effect. There is also mobile device management, and this allows for comprehensive monitoring and management of iOS and Android devices to ensure that your clients' mobile devices also adhere to the industry standard security protocols. There is also our Microsoft Office 365 and VMware ESXi management component. And this allows you to easily manage multiple Office 365 sites from easy to use cloud-based console, again, behind a single pane of glass. So it's a breath of fresh air to be able to service all of your clients, have access to all of the information on all of their systems in terms of hardware, software, patching, warranty information, all of that for all of your clients behind a single pane of glass. And what we mean by that is it's all on one dashboard. So, gone are the days of trying to track that information individually and separately and trying to consolidate it to feel more organized. So without short selling these points, those features, of course, are extremely useful, but what I really want to get to is the comprehensive reporting. And that's because this is key value add. With a single click, you can generate over 140 insightful reports. And that was last I checked. There are probably more by now. On the one hand, this will aid you in identifying sales opportunities, and this is why I say it will help you grow your business. And on the other hand, it'll help you demonstrate immediate value before and after the service. So, I mean, if no news is good news. If your IT systems are functioning as they should be and your clients aren't having any issues, as would happen if you're proactively managing the network, that's one thing, but to be able to actually demonstrate that value to your clients by scheduling automatic reports and that, it just makes them feel more taken care of. It keeps clients happier, it keeps them coming back, keeps them renewing their SLAs. So, in fact, just more on that point, we have a built-in network audit report, and that was actually developed to help you close new business. It runs automatically, does a full scan, you can immediately identify sales opportunities from that. All these features were built with the MSP in mind. So the reports can also be modified. You can generate your own custom reports depending on the information that you want, or the information that you want to pass on to your clients. But to give you an idea of how extensive the predefined reports really are, I'll give you some examples. And just before I do, keep in mind that on the AVG Managed Workplace Partner Portal, which we'll talk more about a bit later, there is a data sheet called the reports overview, and I suggest you take a look at that. There's a lot of that highlights some of the reports that are available. Still not all of them because there's so damn many, but it provides more detail on the more common useful ones. So some examples, there is the executive summary report, and this shows an overview of network health with just a snapshot of activity during the reporting period. So you can see, for example, CPU, everything that's going on in the network in terms of processes running in the background, applications running. It'll give you that information sort of as a snapshot. Then you get the site hardware and software summary reports, as well as the detailed hardware and software inventory reports. And this helps in identifying sales opportunities. We can provide full detail on all IT assets, and that includes warranty information as well. We literally suck all the information from the network and display it to you in a nice format. So there's also the site security report, and this summarizes all Microsoft Baseline Security Analyzer, or otherwise known as MBSA scans during the reporting period. We have the memory and CPU usage reports, which is pretty much self-explanatory. We have the website monitoring reports, and this is quite a nifty one because it has graphs that show things like downtime statistics, shows content verification, among other things. So that alone is quite useful. And finally, this one's my personal favorite because it's really at the forefront of demonstrating value, and that's what this is about. And that's the work completed summary report. And the work completed summary report lists cleared alerts. It lists closed trouble tickets, because yes, there's a basic trouble ticketing system integrated into the platform. And it also shows scripts and other automated tasks that were executed, as well as detail on remote access remediation sessions conducted during the reporting period, i.e. who remoted into where and for how long. So it'll help with managerial decisions, amongst other things. And now bear in mind, all of these bad boys are just a fraction of the reports that are available. So to summarize, you can streamline remediation of tech support through scripting and remote support capabilities. You have all the information on the IT infrastructure you need to resolve these issues, simply displayed and easily accessible remotely, including warranty information. Another aspect is actually recognizing revenue opportunities in terms of lack of IT assets, so hardware and software, etc., which you can then supply to fill that gap. So this is why the message behind AVG Managed Workplace is that it was designed to help you grow your IT business more profitably, with increased revenue and reduced expenses. So RMM enables scalability, and scalability is behind any successful business model. So you can do more with less. You can service more clients with less techies, for example. Actually, I was recently having a conversation with one of our MSP partners who deployed Managed Workplace, and true story, a month later, he halved his support staff because they just quite simply no longer needed so many techies to adequately support all their clients. So that gives you an overview of some of the functionality which I've just touched on. I'm going to pass on now to my colleague, Eric Shefstrom, to provide a technical demonstration, and then we'll talk more about the AVG Managed Workplace Partner Portal. So Eric, do you want to take it away, mate?
Sure. I hope you can hear me, Tim.
Yes, perfectly. Go ahead.
Great. And thank you for the introduction. If you could just stop sharing your screen, I could share my screen. Thank you. Let's see. There, I hope you can see the screen that I'm sharing. And as I said, thank you for the introduction, Timothy. It was very extensive, basically taking my demonstration away. So I will try to put a face on all these features that Timothy explained. As he said, Managed Workplace is a very big tool, and we're basically scratched the surface on what's possible with this. We have a lot of things out of the box that I will show you as well. So before we go into the dashboard and everything like that, I would first like to show you what we call service plans. So service plans is basically SLAs, as Tim mentioned as well. And these are built for MSPs to use. So we can see here in the service plans that I have 3 different levels. level 1, level 2, and level 3. And then on the left side, I can see the services that I'm able to offer through Managed Workspace. So typically antivirus monitoring, maintenance on desktops, and also patch management. And that goes on both Windows patching and third-party patching, like Java, Adobe, etc. Sorry about that. So the service plans we can see here and the services are mostly or 90% out of the box. So if you would like to trial the product, this is what you will see and will be able to use. So for example, if I go into the patch management here, we have predefined policies for both servers and workstations. If I go back and go into the monitoring, we have both enhanced and baseline. If I go into one of these, I could see that we have 33 different policies for different types of hardware and software. But in total, I think we are around 600 different vendors in both hardware and software that we're able to monitor. So this is just a few of them. But the different levels and the different services that you can see here are all included in one price, server and device price. So these different types of levels and everything is just made for you as an MSP to start up easy and not having to be able to spend 2 months just setting up a trial of it. So going forward from this, I would like to show you how to deploy new sites. It's a very easy process. So I would just simply go to the site management and create a new site. Give it a simple name like customer. From this, I would choose to select a service plan for all the devices in this site. And a site is typically a customer or a customer's office. If they have several offices, you would typically have several sites for that customer. You can also split up the service plans. And this is dependent on how much or how the customers pays you. You can choose to have level 1 for workstations, level 2 for servers, and level 3 for network devices, for example. But for the simplicity, I will just choose the first option here. So if I go next here, I get to choose which of the plans they would be using. So in this case, I will select level 2. And then I can customize this dependent on the customer. Because even though we build your service plans, depending on which services you're offering, all the customers aren't the same. So we could simply say, okay, they should have level 2, but they use their own antivirus, for example. And we can just remove it from here. If I go next here, I get to the deployment options. And with the deployment, there's 2 components that are being used with Managed Workspace. Or it's actually 3, with the first one being the actual portal, which is available in our hosted environment or as an on-premise installation if you would like that. There's no different in the features when it comes to that. But with the on-premise version, you would need a dedicated server. But going to the components that are used on the customer side, we have 2 of them. So the first one is an Onsite Manager, and that's a network probe that's installed on the customer's network and handles all the services that I showed you earlier. Just give me a second. They're being installed on the customer's network and handle all the services that I showed you from that central point. Apart from that, we have something called Device Manager. And Device Manager is an agent that you can install on roaming devices that leaves the network. So unless you don't have any devices that leaves the network, you're completely fine only using the Onsite Manager. And with the Onsite Manager, you don't have to have any other agents installed on the machines. So you could be agentless on the customer. So when this is done and decided, I press next, we've completed the deployment. When I press create, I will receive an installation file for the network probe in this case. And during that installation, I will specify the credentials that are being used for the devices. And when it has identified all the devices, it will configure all the services in the service plans on those devices. And that's completely automatic. So I would say a typical deployment at a customer takes about 20 minutes. Going forward after the installation, we'll just go back to the dashboard here to show you what you will see when you're using this product daily. we have two different dashboards, so I will show you both of them. The first dashboard here will show you the sites down below here, and that will also show you how many devices that site has, how many clouds or websites that are being monitored, and also tickets that are created at the customer. We can also see some red numbers here, and these are alerts based on the categories you can see on the top here. So these alerts could be from any device with an IP. We collect information through SNMP, SNMP traps, Windows, syslogs, etc. So any device that provides any information through the supported protocols, we can support those. On the top here, you will see some groups. So we can see we have Windows devices, we have software, for example, antivirus. And these groups are global for all your sites that you can see at the bottom here. So for example, all the Windows servers or workstations are a collection of all the devices down here. And these groups are widely used to identify devices with no antivirus installed or devices that has a software that you wouldn't like to have on the devices. So you can easily see an inventory of those. Going to the second dashboard, the first one here can get a bit messy if you have 100 sites, for example. So we made a choice to include a dashboard that's based on the service plans that I showed you at first. So here we have a dashboard that will tell you how many alerts are available on the different service plans. So on level 2 here, for example, you can see we have 48 alerts, and that could be on 10 different sites, for example. So inventory is a very big feature in an RMM product. We will collect all the information that we can gather. So I'll show you some typical information that you can use. If I go to the devices here, I'll select my laptop here. We can see first an identification of the device. So this is just a simple overview of the device. We can see exactly which model it is. We can see who owns the computer. So last logged in and current logged in. So you can easily identify who owns the machine. Down under the system details, we will get the serial number. And Tim mentioned this as well. This is a very used feature. We will collect the serial number and check up towards the manufacturer how much warranty is left on the device. So with this, you can be very proactive towards your customers to manage the warranty on both the workstation servers, but also the printers, which are usually something that customers would like warranty on. And the information that you can see here, you can be alerted on it as well. So for example, with warranty, you can choose to receive an alert 30 days before warranty expires. Be able to call up the customer and tell them that, okay, it expires in 30 days. What would you like to do? That will also show the customer that you're actually present with their equipment. So with this, we also collect a lot of information about the software installed and the hardware. It's not so interesting seeing the software list, but what I would like to show you here that we also collect the product keys in use. So that's Microsoft product keys. So what you could do is generate a report that will show you all the licenses in use at the customer site. So for example, if you have an audit from Microsoft, you can simply generate a report and send that report away. With the hardware, we dive deeper into seeing exactly which physical disks and memory and processes that are available on the devices. So all the information that you can imagine with Windows is in here. When working with workstations and such, we usually want some kind of remote capabilities as well. As Tim mentioned, we have partners that's been able to cut out team viewer licenses with this. So with this, we have a lot of different alternatives you can use for remoting. It's split in two. So we have remote tools and remote control. With the remote tools here, these are tools to work in the background on devices, so you don't need to interrupt the users when they are working. I know coming from a help desk, you typically schedule a time with users to fix their issues, and that takes a lot of time from yourself. So with these tools, you can work in the background completely silently. And everything that you do in here is, of course, audited. So in the remote history that we can see here, we can see which user has used what when it started, and how long it's been using it. And if I press the notes here, I will also see which tools was used. But the duration that you can see here can also be generated in a report to show you a total time spent at the customer in remote sessions. So that could be used for billing the customers as well, if you bill the customers by support hours, for example. If you move over to the remote control, we have a lot of different options here, but what I would like to focus on is the premium remote control, and that's typically the TeamViewer replacement that we offer. But other than that, we have options for, let me see, just need to switch device here so I don't remote myself. We have remote desktop and assistant, that's Windows, so that works on isolated networks. We have telnet putty and web console for printers, switches, routers, for example. But the premium remote control, I've actually brought up a session here. Is a tool that you can simply use press connect here, and it will bring up the connection. You can also choose to have user consent, so they need to accept the remote control. But typically this one could be compared to TeamViewer and the other bigger remote control softwares out there. So you have a file manager, and sorry about this, but this is localized to my local language. But you have a file manager, you have a chat that you can chat with the user. You can draw on the screen. We also have some keyboard shortcuts. You can also see real-time data on the computer that you're remoting, so CPU, RAM, disk space. But you can also remote the session if you would like to, sorry, not remote, record the session. For example, if you're doing some user guides or similar. So as Tim mentioned as well, it's very simple to connect to devices that's in Managed Workplace. Simply go to remote control, press connect. But it's also available for devices outside of Managed Workplace. We started by integrating its service, but when we saw that partners still needed one TeamViewer license for when our partners are onboarding new customers, or they have a device outside of the network that's not included anywhere, they can use the on-demand feature here. And that works like TeamViewer Quick Connect, if you're familiar with that. You give the users a link, you provide them with a code, and then they connect to the service. And this is also in the same price as everything else. If you go more on the monitoring part, I will try to do this a bit quick, since we don't have too much time. I'll show you some of the features that we can do here. So we'll take Windows Server monitoring as a typical example. So first of all, we can see that we have different types of monitoring, baseline and enhanced, and that's the same that we saw in service plans. And that's just for you to offer to your customers, so you don't have to build everything yourself. So the baseline offers some basic monitoring, while the enhanced one gives more alerts and alerts on more things. But if we go into a monitor here, just to show you how a typical monitor looks, and go to monitors, I can see here everything that's being monitored. So disk issues are monitored by Windows events, and there's 11 different alerts that can come from this. So it's typically 11 different events in this case. But then we also have monitoring on performance counters. So processor, disk space, ROM, for example. So if we take a processor monitor as an example, go into this one, we can see here on the first page that it will poll every 5 minutes for the status of the processor, and it will do that in percentage. So with this information, we'll go to the Alerts tab and define when we should receive an alert. So in the enhanced one, you can see that we have two different thresholds. So one high CPU and one critical CPU. If I go into the critical one, it will say that, okay, if the processor is over 90% for 4 data points, it will give an alert. And 1 data point is 1 polling interval. So this would be over 20 minutes to generate an alert. With options you can see here below from alert remediation, those are global for all alerts in Managed Workplace. So first, with the alert remediation, you can enter in some steps. If you know how to solve this issue, you can just enter in some how to solve the issue, which is very good if you have new employees that's never worked with your customers before. And then on the alert categories, actions, and notifications, we will specify what Managed Workplace will do when you receive this alert. So this is just defined out of the box. It will create a trouble ticket in this system and also in a system if you have it integrated in here. It will send an email, and that's to the users that are configured in Managed Workplace to receive alert emails. We also have an option to selfie, and that means that if in the next polling interval it shows that the processor has gone under 90%, it will clear the alert because this issue isn't current anymore. And that helps you to not sit with 300 alerts while 10% of them are current issues. And the last option here is run script. And that's any script that's available in here. As Tim said, we have many scripts predefined in here that you can use. But if you check on this one, it will say that, okay, when this alert comes in, we'll run this script to list the top 20 processes running on the device. So when you then go in and see the alert here in Managed Workplace, you will also see the output from the task that's being run here. So with this simple option to run a script based on an alert, you can really do a lot of things when alerts comes in. So I could, for example, install Java on this alert, for example. So it's very open, and you need to be a bit open-minded to be able to solve the issues automatically when they come in. With the automation that's included with the run script here, I'll show you some of the scripts that we have included or that are predefined in here. So we have an automation tab here on the left side, where we have a calendar, where we can see all the scripts that are running, and I will get to that. But first, I would like to show you the library here. So in the library, you can see all the scripts that we have predefined. It's everything from Active Directory management to auditing different things like antivirus on the machines, but also software distribution. So for example, if I open software distribution here, I can see generic scripts for installing MSI files. I can also send out exe files. I can update Flash, Reader, Google Chrome, Java, as an example. So this is some of them that are predefined in here. You can upload almost any executable script in here and run it on the machines. The only requirement is that they should be able to run silently on the device. With this, we also provide packages of scripts, and it's basically the scripts that you see here, but in one single package. You don't need to schedule 20 scripts to do a maintenance on a computer. You can simply run a package of it. So if I go into a package here, this one is called PC maintenance. We can see that it does all these things. And I think this script takes about 5 minutes to run. So it will uninstall some applications. And if I click on that one, I will see which are defined to be uninstalled. It will delete some temporary files to be able to be proactive on the devices, to not run out of disk space, for example. It will update some applications, audit antivirus, defragmented disk, and install updates if required. And that's Microsoft updates. And with the Microsoft updates, we have that simple script to be run, or you can use the patch management feature in here. And that's a very big service. If you're familiar with vSUS, it's very similar to that. Simply you take full control over all the Windows patches that are being installed on devices, both which patches, but also when they should be patched. So for example, if you have a common maintenance window on several customers, you can schedule all the patches to be installed during that window, and then reboot and be done until the maintenance window is over. So Tim has talked about a lot of the features that are in here, especially the reporting, which is very important when you use an RMM tool, because everything you do with environmental is typically silent, so the customers won't see that you're actually doing anything. So reporting is very important in that sense. So generated some reports here that I would like to show you. The first one is called Executive Summary, and it will show you a summary of how the network is doing with the things that you can see here on the screen. So this is more of a sales report. You can see the site health here in percentage. That's being calculated from what we can see here on the right side. So server availability, patches installed, Microsoft baseline security analyzer, which will scan for security defects according to Microsoft. And that goes on workstations and network as well. We can see disk utilization, which assets are available at the customer site, and also warranty management. And this report is generated in a period. So we could see here, when I generate a report, I select which site it should be for and which period. So start date and end date. So during this time, we could see that 608 patches has been installed, 17 tickets closed, and 767 remote sessions has been done. So you can take out reports that goes more deeper into what we see here. So you could bring out a report that shows exactly which patches has been installed, exactly which trouble tickets has been closed, and how long they've been open, or how long you've been in remote sessions, for example. And then we can also see alert turnaround, which shows you how fast you're solving these issues. So we can see that 9 alerts has been solved within 15 minutes. And this could simply be that Managed Workplace has solved the issues automatically by using the run script, but the customer don't need to know that. All they should care about is that their network is good and you're in charge of it. So this report is typically used for both sending automatically to customers once a month, but also getting new customers. And also some partners use this to get out to a customer site, a new customer in this case, install the Network Pro, leave it for 2-3 days to a week, and then generate this report to show the customer, okay, your network is at 40%, for example. That's very bad. We can help you get it up to 70% or 80%, for example. And then continuously every month they will receive this report and see the previous period, how the network is doing, how many alerts compared to the current period. But with reporting, you can also get all the information provided I've shown you from the devices. So we can, for example, see a more technical report that will show you the Windows Server health in this case. So I just generated this in advance. So this is on one server. You can see the device name and all the different information about it, and then some trends during the period that's defined up here. So the availability on the server, CPU usage, memory usage, and if I go to the next page, I will also see the patching trend that's been on this device as well. Just to give you a quick glance at the work completed report that Tim mentioned as well. If you bill by hours, you could, for example, see here I've generated a report on remote management. I could see that premium remote control has been used for 1 hour and 41 minutes, 3 times total. And the remote desktop has been for 7 hours, 12 times. So this is used for showing the customers that you actually do work on a network and for how long or how much time you've spent in it as well. So this is scraping the surface on the features that's available in here. What I would like to show you now is what the partner portal that we offer. So if I just head over to that. Right now I just logged into the partner portal, so this is the first page. We could see, I'm not sure if you saw it, but we have a daily Q&A each day where you can go in and ask questions about Managed Workplace or other AVG partner products. You can also do some training. You can see here sales training and technical training, which is available, and that's for free as well for all our partners. And which is very extensive. I think it's around 8-hour training to give you training on all the features that are in here. Other than that, we also have marketing materials in here that you can use straight out of here. So you have e-brochures, you also have some calculators for prices, and also some sales assets like battle cards and stuff like that. So, Timothy, I'm not sure if you have anything else that you would like to add when it comes to the partner portal. I think you're a bit better than me when it comes to the sales part.
Doubt it. But yes, I do. I would like to chime in here. Just a few things. So just so that everybody knows, you will have access to the cloud dashboard, of course, as well as the AVG Manager Workplace Partner Portal, which Eric has been showing you around now. Usually partners are only granted access once a contract has been signed, but we can provide you with login credentials in the interim for your review during your 14-day trial. Because like Eric mentions, there's a lot of useful information there in terms of deployments, configuration, training, that can only be helpful even during the trial phase. So we'll set you up with this. I think Eric pretty much covered it all, but like you mentioned, there's a lot of useful marketing resources. You'll also find the AVG Partner Certification Program. It's got very comprehensive step-by-step training, both on the sales side and the technical side. We always suggest to partners that get a trial deployed to begin at the Getting Started section. Highly recommend that you check that out. There's, like Eric mentioned, there's a daily live Q&A, and those are hosted by international RM experts, so you can run any queries you have past our professional gurus in a live call format. So we're with you every step of the way, and we'll help guide you in the right direction. There's also an entire armory of marketing resources there, so most of those sales assets are also designed white label. The idea being that you insert your logo and branding, your contact details, and you use those sales assets to present your clients and to close those SLAs. Some of our partners, for example, are not on the fixed fee model yet, so they go and present their proposals to clients, their SLAs, and then once they have that SLA in place, they then get Managed Workplace on board. So that's one way of going about things. There's also a pricing calculator there, and there is a 6-part course on how to use that pricing calculator to determine an optimal fixed fee that you'll be sure covers all your fixed and variable expenses, while at the same time building in enough back for you, of course. And this will enable you to accurately calculate ROI and your predictable revenue stream to inform managerial decisions. You'll also be able to access the AVG Managed Workplace partner forums. And forums are quite common in general, but these shouldn't be undervalued, understated at all. There you can connect with the AVG support community, and I've taken a look myself. I suggest you check it out. It's an absolute treasure trove of information for MSPs. Again, like I alluded to earlier, you have input there from partners all around the world, and they're all using the same platform, all leaders in the IT industry. So you can gain a lot of insight by leveraging off of that information. That pretty much sums it up for the AVG Managed Workplace Partner Portal. I'm just going to wrap things up, and then we'll go to any questions that you guys may have. I want to mention that our core objective here from the sales perspective is to assist you guys, our partners, with your transition into providing managed services. If you traditional break-fix at the moment. So for the traditional break-fix IT solution providers of ours, the AVG Fundamental Sales and Technical Training courses will serve to guide you through this transition into managed services. We also have those useful tools that I mentioned, like the Managed Services Pricing Calculator. And then for those of you who are already fully fledged MSPs engaged in providing managed services, maybe you're using a competitive platform and you come to the realization that AVG Managed Workplace is the way forward. Our goal is to help you generate more recurring revenue through your MSP business model. So AVG and our vast software distribution included bring a lot to the table through tools and knowledge base that'll help you. It'll help enable you to build, to price, and to sell your managed services from a sales perspective. And then, of course, we have tools, solutions, and support that help you deliver those managed services from a technical perspective. So we'll be with you every step of the way. We're going to take good care of you as preferred MSP partners. So on a final point, in terms of the next step, We can offer a no obligation 14-day trial instance. Either way, recommend you roll this out, check out the latest in the RMM tech. We'll set you up with an account. We can also schedule a private call with one of our specialists, such as Eric, to run through initial deployment and basic configuration. And keep that in mind. So if any of you need the 14-day trial, give me a shout. We can set that up for you. And I also want to mention that it's not the sort of close contracts and leave it sort of operation here. We like to work with our partners on an ongoing basis, well past when the contract has been signed, to tweak the configuration of your platform to properly deliver the personalized service delivery that you want to deliver to your clients. So we are happy to schedule any sales training course calls, that is, or technical demonstrations at any stage. So keep that in mind. We will be with you every step of the way. That pretty much wraps things up from my side. Eric and I will stay on call for another few minutes in case there are any questions. So yeah, we can go to questions. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask, or alternatively type it into the chat and we'll get to it. I don't know about you, Eric. I haven't gotten anything coming through just yet.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Nothing from your end either. Hey, no questions on your side. All right, perfect. Well, then, thank you everybody for your time. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, speak to your key account manager or myself if you want that 14-day trial. If you have any other questions, give us a call. We'd love to discuss it with you. Otherwise, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day further. Cheers, everyone.